Welcome back to Assetto Corsa. Today we're going to do another fun race in the 1967 Grand Prix Legends mod for Assetto Corsa, the 1967 F1 cars. We're here at Monza to have a fun 16-lap shootout race. I have spent a ton of time since I last did the video comparing Assetto Corsa to Grand Prix Legends. I've spent a ton of time in Assetto Corsa working on the AI and seeing what could be done to make the AI more raceable and more fun to race. And I think I've gotten pretty far with it. It's a lot of effort, taking time making new AI lines and making boundaries on the circuits and editing every driver or every car's AI capabilities individually. But I've gotten to a place where most of the time they stay on the circuit, most of the time they make okay decisions, and I think it's turned out pretty good. I think if I keep working at it a bit, could get the AI to a place actually where they're fairly fun to race. But enough talking about that. We're going to be doing a quick race around Monza, like I said, 16 laps. I've done a qualifying session, and we are all the way, you actually probably can't even see me on the view, but let me see if I can go down the grid there. In the number 7 Ferrari here, kind of in the center of the screen, driving for Ferrari in the beautiful Ferrari 312, modeled somewhat okay here in Assetto Corsa, but I think they stole the default Assetto Corsa model, which has some flaws. So no badness on the maker of the mod itself. But driving that Ferrari 312, we got a full grid of 20 AI cars. We've gotten a couple extra liveries painted up for Chris Irwin and Bob Anderson and such. But we're going to be doing this race around Monza and just have fun with it. I want to see how well the AI really do race. It's my first time doing a longer race. 16 laps isn't too long, but first time doing what I would call a full race, short distance race around the circuit. So why don't we hop in and see how things go. All right, here we are on the grid. Lights are up. Out and we're underway, getting bogged down off the line. Now up through the gears into second, third. We're tucked in behind one of the Ferraris with a Cooper alongside of him. I think I've got Bruce McLaren there flying up the inside as we head towards the first corner. I'm going to give him the line there. First lap is no time to challenge, as we'll head through the first turn, but able to hold it together. Bruce falling into line here, up through 5th gear, and we'll head towards the Lesmos. Leave plenty of space for braking on the opening lap. Bruce trying to make something of it, up the inside of my Ferrari teammate. I'm trying to do the same thing as him, making slight contact there, but both of us coming through it okay. I think that was Scarfiotti passing in the 10 car. But now we'll head down, back straightaway under the oval and towards Ascari, the fast left-hander here. 5th gear, just breathe the throttle. Car feels like it's going to understeer, and then you hammer that throttle down again to make the car turn with the torque of the engine. Coming up to Parabolica now, another hard braking here in the opening lap. Down to 2nd gear. And just slowly easing on the throttle until you can get it up to 3rd gear, and then mashing it, a little bit of oversteer as we come out of Parabolica for the first time and towards the line. McLaren here, driving with anger. We're P7 with 15 to go. That's right, I've got the pit board back. So I'll be commenting on my last video of Assetto Corsa and letting me know about that. We're going to take T1 a little easier here than these two in front. I think it's Rindt and McLaren fighting with each other. Let's see if we can sneak alongside Rindt as we head now towards the Lesmos again, up the outside. This, of course, will give me the advantage coming into the Lesmos, being on the inside, keeping it nice and tidy though, and yeah, seeing Rindt fall behind in the mirrors, and just dancing it up to the guardrail. But able to make it work. Not a great exit out of the second Lesmo, but I think Rindt was trying to collect it a bit too, so getting away with everything okay. We've got cars in front, side by side. You can see as we head into Ascari, just gonna wait to see if there's any smoke. slipstream behind. The slipstream effect is strong in these cars. Oh, and outbraking me into Parabolica, but we'll try to keep it up the outside. Car understeering quite a bit. Rindt able to make the pass there. But we'll see if we can make it up the inside of him down the front straightaway. Just have to check, make sure there's nobody to my right there. Fighting for P6 then. So we'll dip it up the inside into T1. Try to keep things nice and tidy. Drifting out a little bit, but Rindt gave it to us there. It's a scary, scary place to go side by side. We've been there before. Up into 5th gear now towards the Lesmo. See if we can get a good run through here and build a little bit of a gap. McLaren trying everything he can to pass as many cars as he can, making it by another Ferrari, slowing him down in the process. Sure, Bruce McLaren drove like that in real life, but he is absolutely a madman here today. Throw it into Ascari again. Oh, the car just scarily feels like it's heading towards that barrier on the outside. Able to hold it up nice. Braking hard once again, these two in front, not giving it up, which is ultimately going to help me really notice how much two cars fighting gives space. So up into 4th gear again, into 5th. So fly by for another lap. So Scarfiotti behind me, I was right, and McLaren in front. So the pit board not delayed a lap like it is in Grand Prix Legends, but so much more immersion to have a pit board rather than just a number on the screen that tells you where you're at. Flying through the Italian countryside here really feels like you're in Italy in the 60s. This track is absolutely gorgeous. And right on the back of McLaren now as we'll try to get a good exit, but I don't know if we'll be able to do anything in Ascari here. We can just kind of stay right behind him and make sure he doesn't make any mistakes. The car is wiggling around. Love that. So much more unstable than in Grand Prix Legends, which is a good thing. It's the bumps on the circuit that really do it. Braking to the Parabolica, driving up the inside of McLaren, try to keep the car low, doing what we did with Rindt again. Whoa, getting the car all kinds of sideways there. Saw Bruce's wheel dangerously close to the cockpit. He's able to make it back up the inside of us as we get back in the draft with him. Making our way, just ducked in for a second right there. Just making it on the outside. Bruce backing out a little bit once again. Not a great place to go side by side, but somehow making it work. Just getting such a draft down the front stretch. Oh, getting it really hot into the first Lesmo, somehow not into the wall. Bruce wisely staying behind. Now making a little bit of a gap here. I have to watch to see if Bruce is able to catch through the draft. No doubt he will. Try to go really fast through Ascari this time. Nearly flat out, just a little bit of a breathe at the throttle. Probably dial out some of the understeer with the setup over time. A lot of skid marks here coming into the Parabolica. A lot of heavy braking going on. The AI does lock up the wheels and everything, so it's not like in Grand Prix Legends where you're the only one that really makes makes those kind of mistakes. Those cars will run wide and crash and stuff occasionally, but they don't lock up brakes or make smaller errors visible anyway. So Chris Amon in front of us, McLaren behind. To make a nice gap there. He's trying to block Scarfiotti then. Into the first turn, jumping down to fourth gear, and then getting on that throttle to pivot the car around. These low downforce 60s F1 cars, even the sports cars of this era, the throttle is almost as important as the steering wheel. Oversteer there. Ooh, just racking the barrier slightly. You'll see mid-corner that when I throw it on the throttle, I'll center the wheel again and prepare for that oversteer. You kind of end up steering the opposite way with opposite lock, exiting the turn from the torque of the engine, turning the car around. It's awesome. Nice run this time through the Parabolica. This thing's calming down a little bit, but that's all right with me. It was a hectic first few laps. I think we'll be passing some lap traffic at some point, so things will definitely not stay this way for the next 10 laps. Gently getting it into T1. Looks like we might be pulling in just a little bit on Amon. Whoa, missing the downshift to fourth there. That's more than just missing a downshift. You miss a ton of engine braking too, having to ease up the brakes quite a lot more. I don't think there's any brake fade or anything simulated in this mod, but certainly in real life, didn't want to use the brakes more than you had to for these long Grand Prix. A 16-lap race would be fine, but doing 70 laps around here would not cut it. Using that extra road there, love using that. Makes you feel like you're really taking advantage of all the pavement. End wanting to swap around just a little bit as we're braking pretty aggressively at this point into Parabolica. And that corner is just designed so well with the tight entry and the long sweeping exit. I actually don't know who designed Monza, but it couldn't have been planned any better if it was, Fourth gear here for the first turn. Stand on it. I'll tell you, this really makes you feel like you're here. Spending a little bit of time on the AI was just so worth it. They're definitely not perfect, and there's still some features missing that I would love to see. But for just a fun race like this, it's doing pretty well. This is pretty convincing so far, I would say. Whoa, Amon running a little wide there into Ascari. So we're able to close up here a bit. I think every lap we're just taking a few tenths, and soon we'll be in a slipstream, and that'll really increase how quickly we catch him. But no need to push extra hard if you're catching a car. Look, I don't know if I've got a chance at catching Jim Clark in this race, but we'll just take our battles as we can get them. Laps to go. We're just getting about halfway into this one. Pretty exciting first half of the race. skid marks on the circuit. I think some of those might be from qualifying. There could have been some incidents behind us as well. I won't tell you which ones are from me in qualifying. Getting a nice exit through the Lesmos, so pulling in nicely on Eamon now. Just dipping off the throttle into Ascari. Towards the end of the race, once the car gets really light, we might be able to make it flat. The setup I have right now, not trivial to do. Pretty much running the default setup though. A couple tweaks, trying to change the diffs around, but not entirely sure how all the settings work in Assetto Corsa yet. Different measurements and things that I'm used to in Grand Prix Legends. So Eamon getting a good run this time through the Parabolica and pulling up on us a little bit. We're just about a second off of him. Pulled up a nice gap to Scarfiotti behind us, so he got around Bruce McLaren. We'll keep our eye on that gap. The 3 Ferraris here right in a row, but not in the 3 positions Enzo would want us in. Just nipping that curb to the inside this time, but the car doesn't get quite as upset as it does in Grand Prix Legends if you hit those curbs. So it's definitely not a good thing to do, but not race over. Oh, barely keeping that one off the guardrail. Oversteer coming out of the second Lesmos. We've got to be right within that drafting area with Chris Eamon. Nipping the grass, so he is definitely pushing hard, that's for sure. Oh, and just missing that second gear at the end of the downshift. If anybody wondered if I was actually heel towing, hopefully that's enough proof for you. Staying on the circuit, so we lost about 4/10, but still gained on Scarfiotti, so I don't think we have to worry too much about him. It nice and easy there. When you get the Lesmos right, there's some of the best corners on the circuit. When you get them wrong, they are so tricky because they're really the only, outside of the Parabolica, which is its own thing, the Lesmos are really the only, slower corners on the circuit. So they're so important. When using all of the track there through Ascari. Look frustrating just having to wait to get on the throttle leaving the corner, but if you get on it even a moment too soon or even a little too hard, the car will spin out because of all the torque and horsepower. So pulled in 2/10 that time. We just need to keep doing laps like that. We have 5 laps to go, so we were running out of time. It so nice through the first corner. I will say driving one of these cars well, whether it be in Grand Prix Legends or in Assetto Corsa or Factor 2 or whatever sim you choose, driving an old Grand Prix car well feels a different kind of satisfying. I don't know if I'm doing it well here, but I'm having a ton of fun. hitting the top of the rev range. I'm really revving the engine out, but such a short race and just a few laps to go. We're going to use everything Enzo gave us. Up to third quite quick enough there. Was monitoring my oversteer a little too much. I feel like we're in this bubble from Chris Amon where we just can't poke through to get closer. 1 second though, so pulled in another 2/10. I guess the timing doesn't lie. Just have to keep doing what we're doing. Making a nice line. He ran a little wide there. He runs wide again through the first Lesmo. Run wide as well as him through the second. I can see a couple more cars just dipping around the corner here, so with a couple laps to go, or a few laps to go here, we might be hitting some of the slower traffic, which will certainly dice things up, I can imagine. Feeling pretty good about Ascari now. Let's see if we can try that flat out. Not a lot of options though once you commit. Definitely catching another car in front of us here. That'll give Amon a little bit of help down the straightaway, but we're just so close to getting that draft. When he gained a little bit on us that time, might have been my exit on Parabolica. Stuck in behind one of the lapped cars here through the first corner. Assuming it's a lapped car, looks like Guy Ligier. Amon's gonna dip up the inside. Ooh, he nibbles the grass there. Let's see if we can do the same thing, making a little bit of contact there with the back of his gearbox. That definitely will not have good effect, but somehow not spinning them out. Usually that would spin out the car in front. Hopefully not damaging my cooling or anything like that. I don't know what damage is like in Assetto Corsa. So we'll come into Ascari this time. And down towards the Parabolica. Pulled in nice regardless of the little tap. Little love tap to my teammate. Getting a nice exit that time, but a lot of wheel spin in third gear. Wasn't anticipating that. Duck back in. 2 laps to go here. Getting a nice slipstream up the inside. Throw it inside of him towards the first corner. Able to make the pass, but almost running wide. But able to make it stick. Chris right behind us. So now we'll come towards the Lesmos. He's got another run. Getting it all crossed up under braking. I don't know if he was inside of me there, but he dips back out. Oh, and makes a mistake behind me, potentially. Didn't see what he did, but pulling away now, so making the pass on Amon. Have to thank Guy Ligier for that one, but still feels good to have passed him here right at the end of the race. Pulling up on another car. This could be the F2 car in the race, the little Matra. definitely is. Jean-Pierre Beltois threw him in here. He's beating Guy Ligier, so we know how good Guy Ligier was back in the day. Much better as a team owner, for sure. But just one lap to go, I believe. We'll just take it nice and easy here behind Jean-Pierre. No need to make any rash moves on the final lap, trying to pass a slower car. Definitely quicker than him. We've gotten a whole lap around him throughout the race, and we'll just slide up the outside. Just nicking the curb to the inside just a little bit. Getting a nice exit through the Lesmos. Back up through 5th gear and round the Scari, which should be the final time. Not sure if 1 means 1 to go or 1 additional, so we'll have to see what happens this time by. Revving it really high there into 2nd gear into the Parabolica, but not too worried about our engine now. And missing the flagman at the line to tell me whether or not it's over. But crossing the line here, and it is over. P4 from, I think, 7th on the grid. So just taking a little bit of a look at the replay here, but what a fun race that was. Really, I think, you know, having the AI set up in a way that makes them raceable obviously adds so much to the experience, and I wish more sims would dedicate some serious time to good AI. I know a lot of people love racing online, but how cool was that? Or at least I thought it was super cool to race some, you know, full grid of competent drivers and not have too many boneheaded moves. I think that one slow up behind the lapped car could have been avoided, but honestly in Grand Prix Legends something very similar could happen. So if tuned correctly, I think the AI has some hope here. I think you're missing still some of the depth to different things. We really still only have an aggression setting and a strength setting, so I can't make a driver drive much different or have any kind of mechanical failures or things like that. So, you know, all in all, I think a really fun experience, and hope you had fun watching that with me. I want to take a quick look at the final results here. Jim Clark winning in his Lotus 49 from Dan Gurney, Graham Hill, and myself, Richie Axelson, in 4th. Lead of the Ferraris. We got 3 Ferraris in a row there. I don't know what Jackie X was doing way at the back, but you know, 3 of us higher up, and me leading them all. So I think overall good race. Was, you know, over 16 seconds behind Graham Hill, so I don't think in this short of a race would have had any chance at catching those guys in the Lotus and Dan Gurney in his Eagle. But overall, super fun race. I hope everybody enjoyed that, and we'll talk again soon.